Your peace isn't found in people. Your worth isn't found in people. Therefore, the quality of who you are and what you produce shouldn't be determined by the people you work for and with. Everyone is flawed. If you gauge the level of your work and effort on people, then you will be working from a flawed or lesser scale. You will never truly reach your best work if you are working for the smiles of men. Whatever you do your work heartily as for the Lord rather than for man, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of the inheritance. So our work should not be limited to pleasing those around us. Shoot for a much higher goal. Work towards the highest standard. However, this isn't to say that we don't need people. Of course we need each other. Iron sharpens iron. We need each other to get to our best work. Without listening, we cannot learn. Without serving, we cannot lead. Without sharing, we cannot build. Without loving, we cannot feel love. Without each other, we can never be sharpened. When we work together, our best work can be realized. But never work for the standard of man to the guy in front of you, and never ignore the needs of the man behind you. That was a post that we made a little while back on Instagram. It's just at HoldFastGear on Instagram. Every Sunday we like to make an encouraging or challenging post. And so these videos are just to take those posts and dig in a little bit deeper and talk about them a little bit more in depth. Everything we make, we put a lifetime guarantee on it. And there's a reason why we do that. It's because when I build it, my intention isn't just build it and sell it and be done with it. I really want my products to help you in what you do, to help you tell your stories, to help you carry your gear, to help you do your job more easily. That's what I want our stuff to do. But if our stuff is made to a certain level and then that's it, and then it breaks over time, my job isn't done. I don't feel happy with that. So we put a lifetime guarantee on everything we make because I want you to buy the gear and never think about it again. Just use it, let it become a part of you and your style, and then it just works forever. That's my goal. And of course, we can't build things to last forever, but I do intend for you to be able to use it and it lasts longer than your career, and then you'll be able to pass it down. That's how we build our stuff. So I don't build it just to sell a product. And I was thinking about that the other day, just my mindset when I'm building something. And what I was realizing was I wasn't working to just get a smile out of someone. And I wasn't working to the standards of what I saw in the industry. Because if I worked just to that standard, I kind of felt like I was leaving stuff on the table. I felt like I wasn't doing my best work or getting to the best there. And so I started thinking about how we can apply that every day, because I didn't always have this company. I did design work, I did photography, I shot weddings for like over 10 years or so, did video production, did a lot of different things before I got to this. And no matter what, the one thing I wanted to do was make sure that whatever I was doing, I wanted to be doing my best work. I didn't want to just work towards the pat on the back and then the job was done. I don't know, that just never felt right to me. I just felt like, you know what, I can do more, I can do better. And that was what my goal always was. And it always turned out to lead me to good things. It always turned out into promotion and just whatever it was, it did well by me. So I thought, I wonder if this is just something that we can all do. And it's just like a little switch that we can flip. And if you're working towards the guy in front of you, then there's a limit there. That's it. But you're better than that. There's more inside of you than that. There's more that you can be doing with yourself. There's greater work in you. So if you're shooting just to make somebody smile and that's it, man, there's so much more that you can do with that. If you're shooting just for your boss to say, good job, you got a raise, well, there's just so much more to that. And I know you know this. I know that you've seen this in your own life where you kind of get into a practice or a routine with the stuff you're doing. You learn from those around you. You learn what makes people happy, what makes people tick, what makes people don't, and you just kind of do those things. But then you just sort of stay there. You sort of reside in that little area as opposed to, you know what, let me break past this barrier. And I feel like sometimes it's just like good is the enemy to great. Is that how it goes? I don't remember that quote, but it's something like good is the enemy to great. A lot of people are good enough, but that's what stops you from becoming truly great in your own life. So I want to see people just decide and say, look, I'm going to set the bar for my own work. I'm going to set the bar for my own life. Not let where they're at set the bar. You exceed that and you go much higher than whatever bar is set for you because you can do it and it's within you. I know that we all are capable of doing so much more than we think we can. So whatever bar is in front of you, whatever level of excellence there is, you just go a step above that every single time with everything you do. But then on the back side of that, the one thing I said was don't work for the guy in front of you, but also don't ignore the person's needs behind you. And that, I think, is something really important. We live in a culture where it seems cool to be busy. And we always want to have our phones and we're posting on our Instagram or posting on our Twitter and things are so busy and we're doing so many different things. We got all these things we have to do. We got to be here, we got to be there, we got to be busy. But the simplest thing that I think that most people forget is just being kind to people. You're never too busy to be nice to somebody. And this post was kind of in twofold. Number one, you're not working for the guy in front of you, but please don't ignore the guy behind you either. And that's sort of where it's this kind of mix that I want us to always be conscious to live in. I think so many doors open for people when they just were kind to somebody. Doors that they didn't even think about. They had no idea of going a certain way in life, but they were just kind to somebody, and then something opens up and it creates a whole new avenue for you. We can't be so busy that we just forget about people, because even though we don't work for the smile of man, we don't work for the standards of men, I think we still need to meet the needs of men and meet the needs of those around us. If you have kids, if you're a parent and you have kids, your job isn't your number one goal. Can never be, cannot be. Even when I was building Hold Fast Gear, I was working the 2 jobs and then doing Hold Fast Gear at night. We still stopped and had family time. We still did things together as a family. The reason why I do what I do isn't so I can say that I'm a successful person. There's a lot of reasons, but the biggest reason I do what I do is because I want to have a certain life at home with my family. I want to be able to have time with my family, to spend time with my kids, to be a part in raising them, to be a part in pouring into their lives. We can't be so busy that our family gets neglected, because they're our number one priority when it comes to, once we start a family, that's got to be our number one priority. It can't be other things first. So it's in this, when we can decide that we're going to work to a higher standard than man, that's when we can realize that where our worth really is. If we're going to work just to get that promotion, that one promotion, we're going to work to get that pat on the back, well, that's a standard that we're choosing to work to, and that's a flawed standard, because nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. We all make a ton of mistakes, and we all do things incorrectly at times. So if we're going to take how hard we go in this life, how hard we work, we're going to take our standard and put it in man's hands. That's a flawed standard, and it's always going to be low. Always. It's always going to be low compared to what you can do and what's on the inside of you. So if we find our worth in that, then we'll never reach our potential. It just won't happen. So we've got to make sure that we aren't finding our worth in people and the people we work for and in the people we surround ourselves with. We can't find our worth in that. Then we'll never be fulfilled. We'll never reach our potential. We'll never do what we're supposed to do. If you decide that your worth is not, if you're not going to find your worth in man, then your standard will always not be for them. It'll always be above that. That means you're always going to work more and do better than they can think, and you're going to see promotion. If you're in an area, in a job, and you're looking, man, I'm here at my job, but I want to get to that next level. Well, the first thing you need to do is like, okay, where am I working towards? Let me put a little bit extra in that. Let me put work a little bit longer, work a little bit harder. Let me do my job better. As long as you're not setting your standards to the standard of men, you're gonna see success and you're gonna see promotion in your job. So when you're in a workplace and you're a part of a team, one thing that you wanna do is make sure that you're so valuable to that team, they can't get rid of you. And that's how you see promotion in life. And if you're working to everyone's standards, then you're no more valuable than anyone else. And so the part of this is finding your worth. Don't find your worth in men. That means you're not going to work to their standard. You're going to work above that. But what happens is when you do that, your value becomes immeasurable on that team. You become one of those people that they can't get rid of. You become one of those pillars for them to rely on. If you're in a job and you're on a team, the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you're not working just to get the job done. You're working to make sure it's your very best effort, because then your worth is so much more than you're thinking, because you're not finding your worth in the people around you. It's above that. So then you become so valuable as a team member that you become the MVP. You become promoted. You become the guy that people are going to. You become the guy that always sticks in other people's minds, that they always think about. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you go to a fast food restaurant, there might be one guy in there that's happier than everybody else. You'll remember him. You'll do things in life and people stand out to you. And it's usually they're standing out to you because they're doing their job better than anyone else. They're just hustling a little bit extra. And it's really kind of simple when you think about it. When you aren't working to get that smile, you're working for something greater than that, that leaves a mark on people. That is memorable to people. That puts you in a place above everyone else. That means when it comes time for promotion, you're going to be found quicker. What I want to end with is, don't let people determine your worth. Don't let people determine your value. Don't let what they say come onto you and that become you. What you want to do is make sure that you're not working to the standard of any man in front of you. Don't do it. Don't work just to get their smile, to get their pat on the back, to get their promotion. If you can set your sights to something bigger and something greater and always working towards that, first of all, you're going to find your calling. And second of all, you're going to be someone that is immeasurable. You're going to be a part of a team. You're going to be on that team and people are going to think that's the guy. You're going to stand out to everyone else who gets around you because you're working. Your target is higher than just what's in front. So If you want to see promotion in life, if you want to see promotion in your work, if you want to go further than where you're at now, look at where your standards are set and raise them. If you just say, you know what, I'm going to do the best that I can do, and I'm also going to love the guy behind me and love the guy next to me, you're going to go really great places in life.